November 2nd, hard meeting. I'll call it to order. My last meeting, I think. I guess we first, our Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Looks like we have 3 plans tonight, and the first one is at 314 Luella Ave. And you could just tell us your name and tell us about your plan.
My name is Aaron Boyd. I'm with Gardner Fox in Bryn Mawr, and we're doing this project at 314 Luella. What we're planning to do is build an addition on the side of the house, in the rear part of the house, and a porch along the rear facing the pool. We're planning to keep the impervious around the pool, modify and extend the patio on the side with a little staircase down to the existing driveway. We're going to add a Bilco door basement entrance on the side and have a new landing that would connect from the driveway to that basement staircase. In the basement, this would be where the addition would be, the post shade area on the plan. Here's the new Bilco door on the side here. The rest of the basement would stay intact. On the first floor, we would be renovating the kitchen area. There's an existing chimney that comes down over in this area, kind of near where this refrigerator is. So in order to get more space in the kitchen, we're planning to take out the existing chimney mass in the back. That chimney mast goes up through the second floor, through this bedroom number 3.
Is it visible from the front facade?
Not really. I mean, it kind of
I
peeks
see
its
what
head
you're
up
saying.
over here. It's more of an impact on the rear. Here's the side elevation. This is where the porte cochere is with this oval cutout. You drive through. You could kind of see the chimney behind this mass here. And then on the rear, this is the chimney that would be removed. So we'll have to replace these 2 slate roof surfaces and try to match the existing when we take this chimney mass out.
But you're going to replace it with a slate or slate alike look like?
We're going to replace with slate roof that would be similar to what's there now. We don't want to go with any kind of fake slate.
That's nice to hear.
There's also, on the rear elevation, there's this little curved wall that comes off the corner of the building, and we were planning to take that shaped wall out. And then we have a porch that goes along the rear elevation here, and this roof line continues around the side here, and this is where the new family room would be, with a chimney mass that would have a fireplace for the family room, and there's like a little outdoor fireplace too. So what we were planning to do is when we take this chimney mast down, we'd save the stone. And what I've done in the past is we try to find a very close match and then mix the new stone in with the old. So we should be able to salvage a lot of stone from that chimney mast. On the, if you wanted to compare the plans, this is the first floor plan as it exists. So we're trying to gain space in the kitchen. It's kind of a awkward layout right now. So that was the main driver for taking this chimney mast out. The other change to the exterior was on the front elevation. We were going to add a little new oval window, which would I'll turn to the elevation page. It's A4. So there's really no change to the front that faces the street except for this oval window.
It's a pretty small.
It's a small window, yeah. It's.
And it looks like you're using muntins that characterize.
We're going to tie in the divided light pattern with a window that's found across the street at another Horace Trombauer house at 319. And that is, I have this little picture packet.
Okay.
So on page 30, you can see one of the oval windows. It's also shown on page 29. And there's a little bit of a, 28. So we're planning to match what was across the street. Another detail on the porch is there's columns and then there's this beam piece, and we were going to add this other shaped corbel that would be underneath the beam, and that's also found across the street. So there isn't an existing precedent on this house for this wood version of this shape, but it is found across the street. And on this particular house at 314, they have a stone version of the top of some of these piers. And I have a photograph here. On page 5, you can see kind of where some of the stone piers come up, and they have a little shaped end. And I have a little bit of a better detail on page 7. So when the house across the street was built, they had a similar concept, but they did it in wood.
Okay.
So we didn't think it would be appropriate for the side of the house facing the backyard and the pool to have the pieces of the porch like interrupted by these piers, because it would interfere with the views toward the back.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to try to find a precedent that existed in the context of the neighborhood, where they had the two columns and then this corbel piece at the top. So we found that across the street, and there's also another precedent further down the road at 320 Luella.
Did you say those are Trombauer also?
No,
No.
only the one across the street. I don't think 320. No, 320 is not
So-
Horace Trombauer, but the one across the street is. And that's the one we were really drawing from.
Yeah.
I didn't really, there is a carriage house on the property, but it's not new. It's a newer garage structure. And
Okay.
they did have a precedent of these like little short piers with posts, but it's nothing original. So we were really drawing from what we could find in the neighborhood that was original.
That's nice.
We were planning to do a copper roof, copper standing seam metal roof, match the shingles on the wall. The other thing we wanted to try to do was, you have this nice big triangle here, and where the cornice and eave detail is, and there's like this lintel and this banding that comes across. We're going to tie that into the porch so that this volume ties together with the existing.
Nice.
So when we brought the hipped roof structure up, we needed to remove this shaped wall in order for the geometry to work. You can see it dotted in here.
Okay.
And then there's a few fireplaces on the inside. I think I have it on page 8. And they all have this semicircular arch. It might be a little more elliptical on the inside, but we were planning to match something in character to what existed on the inside. So we're planning to do that in the family room and also
Nice.
on this outdoor piece.
And did you say shingle wall? The walls would.
Yeah, there'll be shingled shakes, and they'll be treated the same way that the original house was.
Nice. And the multiple over one looks like you've used that pattern for the window.
We're going to match the window pattern. On elevation A5, there are 2 kitchen windows, and in the existing kitchen, the windowsill is too low. So what we were planning to do is replace these 2 windows, and we were going to match the same cut light pattern that the original windows have. It's just going to be a shorter window. We're going to keep the Gothic windows intact. This ArchiCAD program can draw a Gothic window, but it's on the photograph. We're going to keep the Gothic windows intact. There's one on the side, and there's also one here.
Yeah. Yeah.
This window will be new. Right now, if you look at the rear elevation picture, I mean, there were various modifications to the house over the years. And if you look at picture 16, or 18 is actually better. And you can see they have this classy slider door, piece here. So we're planning to make this solid wall with a window that matches some of the cut light patterns that are found on the house, and keep this volume intact as more of a solid volume with window and door openings cut into it. And then this addition piece, which is the family room, we were planning to have a bi-parting slider door, but we would have divided glass, and we'd try to match what they had. Right now they have like a slider that has just one big pane of glass, so we were going to do divided glass.
Any questions? Any other?
Well, I'm impressed, I think. I don't know how much original glass the house has,
Mike, please.
but
Oh, Mike.
I'm so sorry. I think you've done a good bit of your homework, and you're making a more than usual attempt to tie in the work that you're doing with the surrounding, not only the original architecture. Since I've been here, this is probably the most architecturally significant house that we've had, historically, architecturally. How many, does it have original windows, or are you able to match glass, in other words, in the bed, reflection glass?
Yes, it has all original windows. The two that I was going to replace in the kitchen, I do have a source where I could get the wavy historic glass. But a lot of the windows have the storm windows over top of it. So I've done that in the past where if it's inside the core of the building and most of the windows are kept, I can replace with a window that would match some of the historic detailing with the wavy glass, and then put a storm panel over top of it so it ties into the rest of the building. Sometimes when I get to the addition part, then I'll do something a little different, but I have done that before with windows. I haven't done it with doors, but I'm sure they
You do the
have
best, yeah.
options. I'll investigate,
But
yes.
it sounds like the surround and the pattern is, and the all the textures now of the wood frame sounds like you're is copying as much as possible.
Yeah, we were going to use I did a project last year in Wayne, and we used Eagle windows, and in that instance, the house had already replaced its windows. So this is a little different. But originally, before I came to this meeting, I was planning to just do a clad window that would have aluminum clad on the outside and a wood interior. But I can investigate the other options. Usually Norwood or other window company, Norwood
Check
does all
around,
wood.
yeah. I mean, I think what I'll say too, that it's the appearance, so it's the profile, the pattern, paint color obviously is more crucial in general than if you need to replace a different alternate material, make it feel and look the same.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you're doing that.
Yeah, well, we're planning to investigate that. Yeah.
Right. Any other?
So I have one question. On the site plan, SP1, it looks like there is an AC unit and a pool equipment pad being placed to the left of the house. Is that visible from the street?
I don't think that would be visible to the street because they have a number of plantings on the side,
Okay.
like bushes, and we're planning to conceal that
Okay.
with landscaping. There are existing fully grown. There's probably a photo of it.
Yeah, it looks like there's
Yeah,
a lot of
on
vegetation
photo
around.
one. Yeah, there's some large bushes. So really, we're just affecting this bay that's toward the back, where we would put the pool equipment. All the plumbing and to the pool equipment is in this corner, and because we're building the addition, we have to relocate it. So
Mhm.
we were trying to find a location that would kind of work, and that's what we came up with.
I'm okay with your plans as long as that's concealed.
Yes, we'll conceal that.
Any other questions? I feel you explained it really well, and I think you're keeping the character very well, this primary resource that we have here. Any public comments before we make a motion? Would someone like to make a motion? Or
I'd like to make a motion to recommend approval of a certificate of appropriateness.
for 314 Llewellyn?
For 314
And
Llewellyn Ave.
Second? All in favor, say aye. Any no's? So
Thank
it's
you.
fully recommended, and you probably know that the actual approval gets done at the Board of Commissioners meeting.
Okay.
Which is next,
It's on the 14th.
it's the 14th, so that's when you'll
Okay.
hear.
All right, great.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
And the next plan is at 423 St. David's. Hello there.
Do you
have an extra package with photographs? I have the drawings, but not the photographs.
You can use-
Thanks so much, yeah.
I got it for you.
Oh,
Oh.
great. I love it. See? I'll leave that back. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I'm Peter Batchelor. I'm an architect. I'm working with Missy and Tom Rampula at 423 St. David's, the house they bought this year. They're moving back from London. Can you hear me okay? Moving back from London, and you guys have how many kids in the house? 2 kids? 4 kids in the house. I've only met one. Wow.
Welcome.
And they love Wayne, and they love the old historic home. So this has been a real treat for them, believe it or not. So we're here tonight for something a lot simpler than the first one, all right? So what we are trying to do is get them a mudroom, because Horace didn't build mudrooms in the old days. I think the servants did that stuff. So what we thought would be the easiest thing to do, instead of any additions or any changes, was to just incorporate 2/3 of the back porch. You see the back porch in your one photograph? So it's the right side that we're using for this mudroom. We're leaving the roof, we're leaving the foundation, we're building on top of the existing structure, so there's really no disturbance to anything. The house is quite large enough for them anyway. They came from London, so this is really big to them anyway. You know, that's the way it works. So what on the plan you can see I drew, again, was very, very simple to take the 2/3 to the right side and put a single door with a new light that will be in keeping with the style of this house. It'll be a wood-painted door. The glass probably won't be antique glass, because everyone does insulated glass now, but it'll look good. The light fixture they'll pick will be historic, of some character of that turn-of-the-century time. And then we're building using wood shingles to match the house. And we're feathering the corners. You see how the corners are woven like that to match the house? And then it'll be painted to match the house. There's already a copper gutter all around the house as well. I showed you the other 2 photographs just to show you what the house looks like. We're not touching any of that area. So you won't see any of this from the road, which I normally don't like, but it's okay here, all right? So I also have the elevations, which you have to hunt for the addition. It's this, you'll see it on A2. The back there, you see the right side is the shingled side with the door, and the little steps up to the landing with appropriate style rail system and spindle system. Then they go into the house, into their mudroom, with real closets and things that people use today like that. So, the roof exists. It's all. So we're really just building underneath it with our walls.
Just I'm clarifying
Okay,
for
that's fine.
myself. The existing rear addition open porch has square posts, not column, or column?
Yes, columns. Yeah,
that
and we're
goes-
leaving 3 of them. If you look
Okay.
at the plan, you'll see at the bottom this thing called a trash box. It's an old-fashioned trash box, which I couldn't talk her out of taking out. So it's still there. It's going to be there. A historic trash
Oh,
box.
I see what you mean now. I see.
And there's 2 columns around the trash box and a pilaster up against the house. We're
Yes.
leaving all those, and the beams, all the trim,
Got it.
all the ceiling. And then where that other column began, that's where the wall begins.
And that's the word a bit narrower
Yes, that's a
column.
2x6
Yes.
wall.
So,
Yes.
got it.
So that now becomes, that's our conventional wall system, 2x6, with the shingles on the outside
Got
and
it.
that woven corner pattern, which is fancy for us. The fellows don't like to do that. It's harder for them, but
It's
we're
nice.
making them do it. It's a copper gutter. It's existing around the whole house.
So that's the thought process.
Yes, it's a small, like you said, very small change, but it's in keeping.
Yes, I think so. I hope so, yes. No
That-
footprint change.
That explains my question as to why you wouldn't take the whole porch, but you want to keep the trash.
I
'Cause
tried.
You're losing the window, too. Two of the windows.
You'd lose, yeah, I tried, but Missy wanted to keep the trash boxes.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't,
It's a continuation of what exists as well as changing something, so it's good.
Okay, great.
I
Thank
think
you.
so. And like you said, you'll see none of this from the main right of way, so.
No, unfortunately, which, as I said, I don't like.
I
but-
know. So, I don't have any other questions myself. Does anyone have other thoughts?
Well, I just wanted to say something.
Oh, I think if you just push it, if you just push it and leave it, like, then now
It
it's
is
on.
now working. Welcome to Wayne, but we wish you had left the weather there.
The last few days it felt very familiar, unfortunately.
That is it.
Great, thank you very much.
And any
Thank
other
you.
public comments? Nope. So I guess I'm allowed to make a motion to recommend approval for certificate of appropriateness. Anyone second?
second.
And all aye? I mean, I'll
Aye.
say aye. So we vote yes, and
We're
you
good.
heard it's a recommendation, so you'll hear approval next Board of Commissioner meeting.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Thank you very much, Jude. Okay. Our last plan is 215 Midland.
Third family I know of that moved to London, from London in the past 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You ready? My name's Ken Barringer. I happen to live at 219 Midland, and Jeff Moore, who's sitting here, and myself have bought this property next to me at 215, and intend to renovate it and update it and turn it back around. Family has been here in the house for about 60 years, and it sort of sat and a whole variety of pictures of it in its current condition. It's a bit run down, but it's structurally sound. And look at as many of them as you want, but it's got a little side porch on the one side, 3-season. Had heat in it at some point. The heat was taken out. It happens to be exactly the same original house as mine. The two were built, and there's one more out on Lancaster Avenue. We think around 1912. We're not sure of the exact date of it. I'll show you the other photographs in a second. This is my house next door at 219, and it cleaned up pretty good. It's got an
Wonderful.
addition that was done in the back about 2006, I think it was, 7, somewhere right in there. And other than that, it's pretty much the same house.
It's beautiful.
Next door to 215 at 213 is this little house. I don't know if the guts were old or not. It's definitely been modernized and aluminum siding and things on it. Across the street, there's another newer house, probably 50s or 60s. They're adding on to the back of that right now. And then there's this little rather quirky house at 214, I believe it is. Used to be the postmaster's house in Wayne, and it's a very strange angled, oddball, sort of modern-looking thing. And then
Can you slide those over more to
sorry.
center the screen? Thank you.
I thought the camera was going to follow me. And then this is a infill across the street from me at 216. It was a little rancher they knocked down and built, and big box. So that's the neighborhood this house is in. Backs up to the commercial district. So we are looking to do pretty much a overall renovation of it. We're doing replacement windows that match the style of the window. By the way, we can't do that kind of glass indoors. We're not allowed to. We have to have tempered glass indoors by code. So you don't get that option. But all of these existing windows, the frames stay, stucco gets repaired, and windows go in the same light patterns, including the cottage windows in the lower part, cottage style. And then we want to do an addition in the back. This is the addition here on what now is the patio. It's a one-story addition, and we're going to take the existing rear wing and stretch it about 8 feet wider. It's a very skinny little room. It's got one little bedroom, and it's got a kitchen underneath it that was really built when people didn't live in their kitchens like we do nowadays. So it's squished, and so we're going to stretch that piece of the house about 8 feet wider, put the kitchen actually out in here, and that make a family room back into there, which it didn't have. Renovate the existing porch, just changing the window layout a bit to get some use out of that porch. It's very skinny. It's about 8 feet wide. Standing seam metal roof around the edge of the kitchen. We're somewhat challenged by the elevations of the upper windows, so we're going to slope the upper part with EPDM and then ring it. So from the ground, what you'll see is the standing seam, but
Right.
it'll be a flatter roof up on top.
But you won't see
be
that
flat,
piece.
but it'll be
Right, I know what you mean.
lower pitch. New dormer up here
Nice.
into that room up there on the 3rd floor. And put a new porch in the back. New mud, this is a mud room and a powder room out here in the back that bumps out from the existing. But it's all in the style of what was there, same windows, same doors. It's all going to be stucco on the outside, same trim patterns, much as you saw in the pictures of my house.
I was just going to ask you, good model right
Exactly,
there. Yeah.
exactly. You know, when we were looking at it, here's the nothing done, and here's the everything done.
Nice. I was, so stone foundation as.
We'll do applied stone to match, yes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's not a lot of foundation that's going to be shown, but.
But
just
what
around the
little
back
bit,
there, and then
right.
We'll retain a little bit of patio around there.
And when you widen the very narrow existing.
Yes.
The pitch of the roof will be altered a bit too to extend, or no?
This is the widened one.
Okay.
It's a, she's calling it out as a 12 and a half or 12. The existing roof is about 11, 12.
Okay, so it's
It's
minor.
not a lot of change, but it is a little bit. But we'll still do the same soffit overhang.
That's what it looked like, right?
We
The
intend to match that.
Return cornice thing looks like it's all,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
nice.
Returns. It's,
I like it.
I've done it once.
Exactly, you
I
have
did the other
experience
one,
now.
and in fact, I'm the builder on this one, so.
No, it's good that you saw how it all fit
I
together
understand what
well.
I'm doing, and I'm going to do it again.
Good.
Foolish enough to do it again.
Well, it's with love, I can feel it.
We
I
like
it.
the old houses.
Any thoughts or questions here? I think got most of mine answered.
And we are also, you probably can't see it anywhere, we're also restoring the piece over the front door.
Oh, I was
You
looking at
see-
that, yes.
You see ours on my house. The one on the existing house is in this pile here, and it's falling apart. So we've started to pull it apart to get the trim pieces we need.
Good.
So but all the existing side light windows are still original,
Good.
distinctive sort of pattern of.
That's
modern design.
a great feature, so it's with you, yeah. It just punches out.
You've been here 15 years, and you see people standing out there talking about, oh, look. you know,
Exactly.
You can tell what they're saying.
It's true, it's true. It's wonderful.
So, really, the view from the street is going to be what your house is.
The view from this, well, it probably won't be green, but. the view
Yeah,
from
I
the
wouldn't
street's-
make it green.
view-
Make it something else.
The view from the street's going to be exactly the same. It's going to be cleaned up. You won't see the addition from the street. It's all.
Right, that's all
It's all
behind.
out on the existing patio.
I looked at this house when they were selling it a few months ago, and your house is gorgeous.
Thank you.
So it's hard not to notice yours next to this one, especially when it was covered in all
Well,
the greenery.
We started to clean it up a lot. and,
Yeah, it definitely, it
Even
looks better.
the children of the family came back and, oh, it looks so much better, it's cleaned up.
Yeah.
So,
But I know that
It's
there
good.
were some, it's a beautiful house, it really is, and it's good that you're restoring
It's a
it.
good solid house. It's in
The
good
thing,
shape.
and this is kind of aside, but inside there was a butler pantry with
Oh, yeah.
a copper sink. Are you keeping any of that? Just curious.
We're thinking about trying to. I
'Cause that was a really
It's
neat
tough to
feature.
keep the old copper
Yeah.
handmade thing.
That's
but
true. But
The
that's,
style of it's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was something special in there.
It's got a lot of little characters like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you're really focused on keeping it, period.
We are.
And
We
so
are.
I'm fine with the renovations.
I am too, sounds wonderful. And there's no one else here to make comments.
No one else can comment, huh?
So, anyone want to make a motion?
I would like to make the motion to recommend approval of a certificate of appropriateness.
I'll
For,
second.
this is what?
Oh, wait.
215 Midland Ave.
And I'll second. All in favor? Aye. No negative, so good luck and wonderful job. Yes, you do.
I've got 3 of them going right now, so.
Oh,
All in Radnor.
well,
It's enough.
So when's
this Yeah.
one going to be ready by? Because I'll need it.
It will probably be ready late spring, May, June timeframe. Our target. That's appropriate.
Oh, we're on? Okay, never mind.
I'll talk to you about it.
Okay. I'm sorry, I guess I moved
okay. That's it for the plans. Any new business that you could like to talk about? Anyone else? Yes?
I just have one thing. Beverly, thank you for your service. I know this is your last meeting. So I appreciate your commitment to the board and to the township. You've been a wonderful asset to the department and to this board.
Thank you.
Same thing with Andrea and Cam. Unfortunately, they could not be here tonight, so I'll reach out to them and let them know that
I'll
we
represent them.
appreciate. So thank you for your service.
Thank you. I enjoyed it immensely. And then old
Oh, wait.
business.
Do we have information about the terms? Is that important to talk about right now or no?
Well, we're going to be needing to reappoint 3 new members to the board. Yourself and Terry are through, I think, 2019, so I can discuss that with you after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Then that's new business, old business. No one's here to be public, so for the last time, I'll adjourn.